Hey everyone, it's me Nita and welcome to my channel. In today's video I'm doing a market prep. I'm going to be doing a market in the next few weeks, so I'm trying to prep as much stuff as I possibly can. And in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to make towel scrunchies. These were fun to make but really challenging at the same time. So just sit back, relax. If you have some towel fabric of your own and want to join in on this sewing project, definitely join in. Let's get started. I'm going to show you guys how I cut the fabric, the measurements, all that stuff, and then I'll show you guys how I sew them up. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's get to work. Alright guys, so right now basically I'm just prepping the towels to cut them. So I'm going to be cutting the towels 4 inches wide. I'm going to be folding the towel like the long way, the hot dog way I guess. And the little like decorative part on the towel, I'm going to go ahead and cut that portion off. I'm going to do that to both ends. And after I'm done doing that, I'm going to cut strips that are 4 inches wide. I was able to get 10 scrunchies out of one towel, which is pretty good. So I'm just cutting each strip. The towel is extremely thick, so definitely use a fresh blade or a sharp blade. As you can see, my blade is pretty dull and I need a new one. I actually purchased these towels from Big Lots. I believe I purchased them for around $6 a piece, or maybe $4 a piece. I can't remember. I bought these so long ago and I've been meaning to film a video. I just haven't had time, but finally made time today. And I also found a really nice bundle of towels on Amazon. They had a bunch of different cute colors, like natural colors, a blush pink, a sage color for the towels, and I might purchase that little bundle depending on how well these towels sell at my next upcoming market. I will be listing them on my website. But I'll probably end up selling most of these at my market if they sell. So I'm actually cutting up 2 towels today, so I'll have like a total of like 20 scrunchies. I really like this like ice blue almost. It's a really light color. I'm kind of curious to see what colors sell the best, because it was a hard decision when going through all the different towel colors because they have so many different colors to choose from. You could also use terry cloth as well from Joann's. I need to see how much it is at Joann's. It might be more affordable. I'm not sure. Depending on if you have a coupon or not, but I will definitely have to look into that, because I would rather just go to Joann's so I can get other fabric rather than going to the store just to get towels. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the ends of these strips because they have like a finish on them. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those off because I know for sure my sewing machine won't be able to sew through that. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut those ends off. These towel scrunchies, they end up having a 26-inch length and a 4-inch width, so those are the measurements. It'll be 4 by 23 inches. Okay guys, so I have all the scrunchies all cut and ready to go. I was able to get 10 scrunchies per towel, which isn't too bad. I did spend like $6, I want to say, per towel. So it's not like the best deal. I can probably get more scrunchies out of just regular cotton fabric, so I definitely will have to charge more for these towel scrunchies whenever I sell them at markets. I am just going to try and use my basic sewing machine. We'll see how my sewing machine holds up to sewing these towel scrunchies. They are really thick, so I'm hoping that my sewing machine can handle it. If not, I'll be able to use my serger, but hopefully the sewing machine will do just fine. But I'm not going to add any tags either to the scrunchies. I'm just going to sew them as is. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get started on sewing these up. So my sewing room, or my craft room, has a different setup. So I definitely need to do like a new tour of my craft room, because now I have both of my embroidery machines in. I have my DTG, I have a new heat press and another new heat press. So I definitely need to give you guys like a whole tour of everything. So stay tuned for a new craft room tour. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna get started on sewing. So I'm thinking for these, I'm going to increase the stitch length to 3. Maybe to 3.5. We'll see how the sewing machine does. I'm hoping that it can handle all this. These towels are super linty as well, so they do make a little mess. Actually, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do 3.5 just to do it. Okay, so my sewing machine seems to be able to handle these towel scrunchies just fine. I'm making sure to backstitch the front and the ending, or the beginning of and the ending of the stitch. You probably could use like a walking foot for your sewing machine to kind of help with all the bulkiness, but my sewing machine seems to be doing just fine. I also get a lot of compliments on this sewing machine. My niece actually gave me this sewing machine. She got it from Joann's, and I always get questions about it. But it's a Zinger Heritage, and I believe it was a special or limited edition, so I'm not sure if they have this exact sewing machine anymore. So basically what I'm doing, just in case you don't know, I have my full length of the scrunchie, and I'm just sewing these 2 ends together first. And then I'm going to use the burrito method. It's basically where I make a tube and I sew it that way. But I'll go into more details in just a few minutes once I sew all these ends closed. And another thing too, basically what I'm doing right now is I'm chain stitching them. Basically I'm just stitching them, and then once I'm all done, they're like all connected, but I'll just be able to trim the threads and they'll be all separated. But this helps save on thread, and also it just is a lot quicker this way. Okay, so you can see they're all attached, and I just use my little thread trimmer on my sewing machine and just trim the threads that way. Super fast and efficient this way. I don't know if the camera can pick it up though, but these are super linty, so I would probably even wear a mask probably with these, just because there's so much lint. It's not really good to breathe in. I could already feel like my nose getting all itchy because of all the lint. So definitely do this in a well-ventilated area, and probably I would wear a mask too. Okay, so I just have my little circular scrunchie, and now I'm going to do the tubes with the burrito method and sew the scrunchies that way. Oh my gosh, I'm definitely going to have to lint roll everything once I'm done, and also my sewing machine, I'm going to have to clean it out really good too. I don't know about you guys, but I'm like the worst at remembering to clean out my sewing machine, but you definitely want to do that to be able to maintain your sewing machine and make sure that it's like running correctly and nicely. The burrito method, I know if you guys said that you had trouble with the burrito method. It's honestly the easiest for me and my preferred method. So basically you have your piece that you sewed the ends together. You're gonna take your top layer and you're gonna fold that inward. just like that. You're gonna do the top and bottom, and then you have your bottom piece, and then your top piece should look like this. Then you're gonna take your bottom piece and you're gonna bring it up to the top to where it touches the opposite end of the other piece, and then you're just gonna sew along the edge. And while you're sewing, you'll stop and then you'll pull the fabric through, and it makes like a little tube. So I'll show you guys how to do that next part. So I'm thinking maybe the burrito method probably isn't the best method for this type of fabric just because it's so bulky. But we'll see how it holds up. So I'm just making sure that the little inside tube isn't in the way while I'm stitching, because if it is, it will get stitched, and then you want to be able to pull the fabric through. Okay, so I'm going to make sure my needle's down because that kind of helps keep the fabric in place. And then I'm going to gently just pull the fabric through. Just like that. And then I still have my middle piece. I'm going to tuck that back into the middle. And then I'm just going to keep sewing along the edge. Okay, so I'm getting close to the end of the scrunchie, and you'll notice the end because it'll be all stitched. So basically I'm going to go ahead and stitch all the way down. I'm going to make sure and leave about 2 inches, maybe 1.5 inches opening for me to be able to flip the scrunchie to. I am turning my scrunchie through that, and then I have my scrunchie, and then basically all I would do next is I'll put elastic through it and sew the opening closed. But I'm gonna go ahead and sit through and try and get as many of these as I can. These definitely take a little bit longer than just like my traditional scrunchies, just because they're so bulky. So we'll see how long these take. Hopefully these don't take too long. Okay, so I feel like I've been sewing for forever, and I only got 4 scrunchies done. Well, 5, but for some reason this one ripped. So I need to redo this one, but these definitely take a lot longer than like my traditional scrunchies just because they're so bulky. And it's really hard to pull them through. But I'm just going to keep chugging along and try and get as many as I can done today. Whatever I don't finish, I'll finish at another time. Okay, so one thing that's been helping me, especially when I'm sewing along this seam, is to kind of open up the seam a little bit and flatten it down. And when I am tucking the centerpiece inward, I just kind of make sure that that seam is as flat as possible, because when going over this, my machine's struggling. I actually ended up bending and breaking a needle on my sewing machine, which is like a first for me. So definitely just try and get this big bulky seam as flat as possible. My arms are like burning because I feel like I'm like working out because of all the pulling I have to do to pull the scrunchies through the tube. These are not my favorite thing to sew, so depending on how well these sell, if they sell like extremely well, of course I'll continue making them. But if they're not like a big hit, I probably won't make towel scrunchies anymore, just because of how hard they are to do. They're just so big and bulky, and it's just hard for the fabric to go through this presser foot. So yeah. If you sew towel scrunchies, if you have any tips and tricks, definitely leave those down in the comments below. Just because these are pretty challenging to do. Maybe the burrito method isn't like the best method for this type of fabric. Maybe just kind of making a tube and flipping it that way might be the easiest way. I'll definitely have to try that next time I make towel scrunchies, and maybe that'll make like a big difference. I don't know, but I'm gonna go ahead and get back to sewing. I have this one, and so I have 8 basically left, and then I need to fix this one, so 9 scrunchies total left. I feel like these have taken just a lot longer, so definitely I will be charging more for these just because of the time and the amount of effort I'm having to put into making these, and then also the cost too of the towels. I feel like I can get, out of 1 yard of like cotton fabric, I feel like I can get more scrunchies for a cheaper cost. So this is something to factor in when you are selling these types of scrunchies. Okay guys, so I'm all done sewing the scrunchies. So now I'm going to go ahead and start prepping the elastic. So what I basically like to do is measure out my elastic to 8.5 inches. I mark a little mark on it, and I just do like, not the whole roll, but I just do a bunch of measurements on the elastic. So when I am putting the elastic through, I like to use this tool. It's called a bodkin, and I just attach the elastic, I clip it on. I just clip it onto my elastic, and then I feed the elastic through, and then when I get to my little marking, I just cut it with some scissors, and then I just tie off the ends, and then I just keep all the elastic attached, and the only time I cut the elastic is when I'm done feeding it through the scrunchie. So I'm going to go ahead and go and elastic all the scrunchies, and then we'll sew them closed, and then we'll be done. Now I am all done with the elasticing, so basically I just have to go through and sew the openings closed. This should be, besides the elasticing, this should be the easiest part, I'm hoping. These scrunchies were definitely exhausting to make. So these are so cute. They're cute. I'm actually really excited to test these out because I read online that these that these towel scrunchies will help your hair dry faster. I do, however, I want to get some like microfiber towels because those are a little bit softer and I think those would be better on your hair. But I'm just having trouble finding like big pieces of microfiber towels. Like I'm only finding like the little hand towels. So if you know where I could find some like bath towels that are like microfiber ones, please let me know down in the comments because I am searching for some, because I think those would be a lot easier to sew and they just overall would be better for your hair. Nice thing though about the towel scrunchies is they hide the opening, like where I stitch it closed. They hide it so well. I did take off all my scrunchies off Etsy just because my Etsy shop needs major help. I'm trying to really focus my Etsy shop just on kids clothing, so I took out all my tumblers. I took out my scrunchies. I took out a lot of my adult shirts. I also took off my fabric as well. But I will have all my scrunchies, my fabric, and all the other stuff, my tumblers too. I'll have those like on my website. I'm thinking just for my Etsy, I am strictly just gonna do my kids clothing line on Etsy, and then everything else that I enjoy making, I'll either sell at markets or I will sell them on my website. I broke another needle. That one was a little scary. So yeah, so I've never had so many needles break before with this sewing machine. These towel scrunchies are just really thick, so I think I'll probably need like a thicker needle or a stronger needle, I don't know, but I gotta switch out the needle again, and then I only have 7 scrunchies left, so I'll check back in with you guys after I'm all done. Alright guys, so here is the finished product of all of the towel scrunchies. I'm hoping these do well at my next market. I don't have a set market yet, but it'll be coming up probably in the next 2-ish weeks. So I'm happy that I have these all prepped and out of the way and ready to go. I probably will list just a few of these on my website. I really just honestly like doing them for markets. They are just a lot of fun. These ones not so much fun to make, but overall I just have so much fun making scrunchies. They're relaxing and calming, but that is it for these scrunchies. Alright, well my camera is about to die. Today was just a relaxing day of just sewing some scrunchies. Stay tuned for some more scrunchie videos. I do have a ton of Halloween fabric that I want to cut and prep and sew up for my next market, whenever that is, because I want to have a ton of Halloween scrunchies because those sold really good last year. I want to try and sell those as well this year, so hopefully they do well. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this little scrunchie work with me tutorial, definitely hit that like button. Comment down below if you have made these before, any tips or tricks that you have for making these, because these were a little challenging, a little bit frustrating. So if you have some method, if you have a method that's a little bit easier on working with this type of material, please let me know down in the comments. And also if you do know a place where I could purchase microfiber like bigger towels, please let me know down in the comments. I would greatly appreciate it because I do want to make some scrunchies out of that type of material as well. But that is it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!